Archbishop, thank you very much indeed for agreeing to meet with us, and it's an honor and a privilege to be with you today. I wonder if you could share with us some thoughts about the role of the faith communities in Syria today in the midst of this crisis, and also any particular message that you might have to say to the outside world in that respect.
I can begin with our mission. Our mission should be the same as it was since the beginning, to give the nice and beautiful and lightening face of the Lord to all the people who live with us. And I am afraid that the Lord would ask us one day, you have been 2,000 years, you have been 1,400 years with your brother Muslims, and you didn't do enough to let them love me a little bit more and come to me. And I am afraid that this is what the Lord is expecting from us. And that's why we fight and we do our utmost to stay in the country, to remain in the country, to encourage our people not to immigrate, and to build for them houses that they may stay. We need to stay here, to remain, to continue to be a witness, and to continue to let the church present where it was born.
And how would you describe the ways in which the communities have lived together traditionally in Syria?
It was, I'll tell you about Aleppo and Syria generally, but
yes,
Aleppo.
Yes.
We have been living like brothers, and we have been exchanging and working together since centuries. I don't know if you know that Aleppo, of course you know it, it's a very, very old city. It has a culture, transcultural culture, which may be at the origin, at the beginning of many cultures in the world. It's 8,000 years of life. But more than that, we are in the New Ages, if you will, in the Middle, since the Renaissance, since the 17th century. Aleppo has been a commercial center on the way of the silk, on the road of the silk.
Yes.
And in Aleppo in the 17th, 18th century, we had 9 European denomination present,
Yes.
9 colonies. And they had their consulate, they had their chaplaincy, they had their church, they used to live here in the country. And they had relations with everybody, and with Muslims as well as with Christians. And ourselves, Christians, were in the first stage, the intermediary, the link between the Muslims present and this Christian community coming from Europe. At the same time, we used to be, as Christians, the translators, and we had in the 18th century, in the 17th, 18th, 19th century, hundreds of people, polyglot, able to speak 3-4 languages, 5 languages. They had the Arabic, the Turkish, the French, the English, Italian, some of them German, and it makes that Aleppo was very advanced,
A
very
rich cultural diversity.
And was the one of the most most advanced cities in the Middle East. It used to come just after Constantinople.
Yes.
Commercially and economically wise, but also culturally wise. It was at the origin of the Arab renewal, and many of our priests and lay people were writers, translators, and they have communicated the ideas of the new Europe and the revolution and the Renaissance in Europe to the Arab countries.
Yes, yes.
And it helped the Middle East to go ahead. And perhaps it was Aleppo and Beirut, perhaps sometimes also Cairo, which was where the city who pushed the Middle East to go in a new life. Now, for Syria particularly, we must say that we were an important element in creating a new way to live with the democracy, I mean the laicity, pluralism, and a kind of democracy.
Yeah.
The Ba'ath Party, which has, of course, as I said, many things to change,
Yes.
has been founded by Christians and Muslims as well.
Yeah.
That's why in this party, all the members are equal, theoretically.
Right.
And in the country, the same.
Right.
Muslims and Christians used to live together at school, in business, in the army, everywhere. But of course, not in the familial life,
Yeah.
which is a little different.
Which is different. Yes. Yes.
And where the Christians have habits and traditions which are not the same as the Muslims.
Yes.
But out of that, we had everything together, and we are happy to live together. And the presence of Christians is very important to create this conviviality.
It's vital.
They have worked for it since 80 years now, and that is what hurt us and what make us sad. That 8 years of work to push ahead a life together, a conviviality, a respect, mutual respect, and an openness are destroyed now, have been destroyed, or they tried to destroy them in this war, 7-year war.
You're aware, Archbishop, that in the West, sadly, the Church here has been criticised. What's your message to the Western communities?
I have, of course, I can say the same thing for the Western communities and the Church in the West. What we ask you is to consider the things as they are. Try to reach the truth. Try to reach what is exact. We are ourselves and yourself and the world attacked by a media campaign, media war, which are destroying every single element of the truth. We are like, sometimes I compare that to the Tower of Babel, where everybody says everything and nobody understands nobody, and it's terrible. It's a very hard situation. The world is supporting and suffering these days. Please, what we ask you is to look to us, to have some concern for us who are not people who want to make war, who want to make love and to make friendship and to make conviviality. Look to us and try to understand what is happening in this part of the world. We try to remain as we have been, open to our brothers Muslim, and we want to continue to live in peace, and we want to have the minimum needed to live happy and to let our people live happy. We want to ask to help us, first of all, understand us. To understand us, you must have exact rules about us. And then, when you will understand us, what we ask you is not to take our people out to your countries, but to help us, to help them to continue to live in this wonderful country, in holy country, which is theirs.
you so much. I feel honoured. Thank you very much.